Welcome. There you go.
Thank you.
And we got
Five.
Go.
Our industry is experiencing exciting, amazing innovation, as on display today. All 5 of our competitors are presenting solutions that are smart and timely, and all 5 are innovating how data is collected, analyzed, and presented. But when it comes to the very basic business of how research is transacted, little has changed until now. We're Collaborata. We connect research clients and research sellers to crowdfund research projects. The key, collaborating, working together to share the costs and the insights. We believe that when properly managed, collaboration can lead to great innovation. So what's the context? With zero-based budgeting, corporate researchers are being challenged to do more with less, to spend fewer research dollars to support more revenue. And as a result, fewer projects are being funded. Some call these bucket list projects, some call them orphans, some simply call them nice to haves. We call them missed opportunities. So picture this, here's how it works. Your business has a critical information need, but when it comes to funding a custom study, you don't have, well, quite enough funds. And the research you're looking for isn't available and syndicated. Hello, Collaborata. You go to collaborata.com. You use our handy wizard to post your project idea for competitive bidding and then co-funding. Or if you prefer, you can partner with a trusted research supplier at the front, post a fully priced out study, and immediately start raising funds for your project. Co-funders come along. They follow you and comment on your project, helping to shape it, so it works for them too. And they become a co-funder by committing to at least one 10% share of the project. No money trades hands and no work begins until a project reaches 100% of its funding goal. And when it does, you're buying the research for as little as 10% of the cost. Suppliers are happy because they now have more clients and new relationships. And if the project is incredibly successful and overfunds, they share in that extra revenue. So does the client who initially posted the project as well. So suppliers can post their own multi-client studies too. This is the new syndicated. Let's call it collaborative research. It's about sharing costs and insights. So if you're a client in the room, you may be thinking, but I would not post a project that my competitors can buy. Well, we're asking you to think differently. It is no longer about data being proprietary. There's an abundance of data. It's 2016 after all. It is about how you analyze the data and how you uniquely apply those insights to your brand. Collaborata allows you to dramatically reduce your data acquisition costs and reallocate that budget to analysis, where it most matters. So there's that D word. Sure, disruption can be healthy and at one point will be inevitable in the industry. But that's not what we're about. Rather, we believe that we can help grow the space for everybody. Everything about Collaborata has been uniquely designed around one single purpose: to fund more research. So instead, we propose this word. That's right, an eruption of research growth, because now more projects can get funded, which helps everybody grow. So we're ready to kickstart some projects. But in order to get there, we need some help to grow, and we know there's some alphas in this room who can help us make that happen. So for one moment, let's consider another industry, the restaurant business and how it has erupted. Don't be the restaurant that sat on the sidelines and watches your competitors embrace new technologies and ideas. Rather, be the restaurant that signed up for Grubhub early on and reaped the benefits. Be the restaurant that fills its open seats on OpenTable. Be the restaurant that expanded its delivery reach with Uber Eats. Be the research supplier who gets new clients on Collaborata, and be the research firm who funds more projects for fewer dollars. It's time our industry joins the sharing economy. Come create, collaborate, and innovate with us. Thank you.
And I love the picture of the dog. Judges, we've got 5 minutes on, and so here we go.
So marketplaces depend on critical mass. What's
Yes.
your plan for expanding this to reach a lot of people?
That's a great question. So we've been really fortunate. We've only been live for 3 weeks, so we're really starting up right here and now. And in the research industry, I think it's really important that we're belly to belly with a lot of clients. So we're looking for a director of sales, which will help. There's only so many clients that we can call on in a given day. But on top of that, in just 3 short weeks with 0 marketing, 0 outbound sales, we have over 300 research firms and research clients that have come and started interacting with the site. In that time frame, 18 posted projects that are currently funded. Current value of those projects is just over $2.5 million.
One of my fears when I looked at it is that you can end up with a series of suppliers pitching themselves up there that you wouldn't ordinarily choose because they haven't perhaps ticked all your different roster requirements. So do you have any kind of way of guaranteeing the level of quality that people putting themselves up to provide the work are?
Absolutely. So we absolutely believe in having an open marketplace, but it's a beta. So we want to guarantee that our clients have a phenomenal experience and come back several times. So early on, our strategy from a supplier and a project standpoint was to reach out to suppliers within our network who have a phenomenal history of doing really great work. So, for example, our friends Euromonitor, who are here helping us out today. So any project that gets posted gets a 48-hour vetting process to make sure it's appropriate, that make sure it's got funding potential. If we think there are maybe multiple projects that have gotten posted that they could collaborate on, we'll connect those suppliers and those clients to make it happen.
I applaud the effort to think about the business model of the industry rather than focus on a specific solution. My challenge or my concern is the presentation really focuses on the idea that market research is a project-based industry, and while it has been historically, there are a lot of trends toward more learning streams, what we like to call collective wisdom, which is companies learning from what's been done before we go out and hit customers again with more and more surveys. Can you just address that particular challenge relative to actually disconnecting projects by using this model rather than aligning them?
Absolutely, and I think we're comfortable saying that not every single project, not every single data point is meant for Collaborata. Rather, we are specific to those, what we like to call those bucket lists or those orphan projects that, hey, if we just had 10% more budget, we would love to get this done, and it would lead to some phenomenal transformative insights that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So that's what we're about, and we think it's a big enough space. Then on top of that, we view ourselves as an alternative to traditional syndicated spend.
It's a very interesting idea. I haven't seen too much research that's been conducted in the time that I've been in the industry where a project goes seamlessly.
Sure.
So and now all of a sudden a supplier doesn't have one upset client or disaffected client, but 10.
Right.
So how do you start to address that?
Right, so we're putting tech solutions in place to make the communication a whole lot simpler. So instead of having to get on a phone and speak to every single client when something goes wrong, you can simply update your timeline of the project, and the notification goes out to not just everyone who has purchased the project or is waiting to co-fund, but is also just simply following something, just like you would follow someone on Twitter. We're anticipating that there will be issues at some point. But we're partnering with the best firms ahead of time to make sure that we're mitigating that risk.
I think about a lot of the just co-ops and consortiums that get together, non-compete companies, and they leverage their already existing vendor base to do what you're describing. So how do I see you not as a middle person in that process versus people who just organically can get together and do this on their own? And then to add on to that, we're looking at quality over quantity, so it's less about getting more and more projects done and more about looking at what we're doing and making sure we're making the best of our existing resources versus asking for more and more dollars. So if you can address those two if we have time.
Yeah, absolutely. So for that first point, if coming to Collaborata will allow those situations to, you'd be connected with more potential buyers, which would be then lowering your initial price point. So even if you're doing this offline already, you still have access to new clients that maybe you didn't know were interested in the same project that you guys were posting. than to, can you repeat the second question there?
Quantity over the quality.
Sure. So the projects that we've had posted right now are pretty robust. So they are really, really high quality, meaty projects that typically one client wouldn't be able to afford by themselves. So we think the quality of the work that's going to be done is going to be transformational.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.